if we were able to develop technology that would allow us to survive, maybe even thrive?
We unraveled a long time ago. We lost and we couldn't let it go.
Oh my God.
Explain to me what he's doing.
He's moseying, terrifyingly moseying. It's like if Santa Claus was a hitman.
Hello, thanks for joining us. From the end of Succession to an impossibly starry eco-drama with Meryl Streep. Welcome to Encore's show about what's hot on the small screen. And our television series critic Dheepthika Laurent is here. And we're starting with a star-studded climate crisis show on Apple TV that's called Extrapolations.
That's right, Eve. Star-studded is almost an understatement, actually. Meryl Streep, who, by the way, plays a whale, is in this show. There's Sienna Miller, there's Kit Harington, Ed Norton, Marion Cotillard, Taha Rahim, and a whole host of other A-list stars who make up the cast of this climate change drama. It's an 8-part anthology series from Scott Z. Burns, who's notably the writer behind the 2011 film Contagion. Now, this series, Extrapolations, looks at our world in a near-distant and not-so-near-distant future. It starts in 2037, where temperatures are rising by have risen by 1.55 degrees. Extreme fires, riots, droughts, and refugees abound everywhere in the world, Eve.
Well, it sounds exciting, and here's a taster.
Today, people get their energy from the sun. Humans have set foot on Mars. Cancer has been defeated. And yet, for every question answered, another one appears.
Hopefully we look back at this TV show in many years to come and see what the worst case scenario would have been, and that we did something different.
This is not the life that I envisioned it to be.
A man whose house is on fire is incredibly easy to negotiate with.
Extrapolations may seem so far off in this larger-than-life world, but I think what it helps us do is use our imaginations to realize the direction that we're heading. And I feel like it does such a lovely job of finding so many avenues for us to engage in a climate change conversation, which can so many times feel unapproachable.
I think it helps to look at climate change like a bear. The whole planet's been wrestling with the bear for decades. So far, the bear's been kicking our ass.
There's an important message there. It looks very intense, but I have seen reviews call it convoluted. What do you make of it?
Well, Eve, I feel conflicted by the show. On one hand, I felt like it was a massive letdown. You know, you had this stellar cast, and the series itself was so anxiety-inducing. It was apocalyptic at times. The hour-long episodes really felt disparate and very long. And yes, convoluted, I would say, is the right word. On the other hand, it's funny because having watched it in the days after, I was thinking about the show a lot because the images are very strong. They leave a very lasting impression on your mind, really. I was thinking about it, especially in the wake of the release of the recent UN climate change report. The future you see in Extrapolations is that future that climate change experts are warning about. So, in the show, beloved animals have gone extinct, like elephants and polar bears. Oceans have become these toxic pools of waste. Certain people can't even leave their houses on days where there's high pollution.
Watch.
A very difficult watch, but it feels like it's also a very realistic watch if we continue to sleepwalk our way into climate destruction. And it's an important show. Meryl Streep has backed a host of green initiatives since the 80s. Marion Cotillard also co-launched last year a production company with a strong eco-friendly focus. Ultimately, for me, though, this series, you had series like Black Mirror, which was so good because of its use of irony and its bittersweet endings. In this show, unless you count the irony of Apple TV Plus lecturing us about destroying the climate, it was far too sermonizing for me. But that's not to say it's not an important show.
Okay. All right, well, worth a watch anyway. Striking quite a different note is Daisy Jones and the Six, out on Amazon Prime Video. It's a fictional docudrama about a 70s rock band that sensationally imploded, loosely based on Fleetwood Mac, and with Elvis Presley's granddaughter playing the lead.
That's right. This show stars Riley Keough, a.k.a. the daughter of the late Priscilla Presley and granddaughter of Elvis Presley. It's a soapy faux docudrama about small-town kids from Pittsburgh in the 1970s who moved to LA to pursue their dreams of becoming a rock band. It follows, their romantic entanglements and their very sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle.
Okay, well, it sounds fun. Take a look.
Can I ask you a question? What do you think the song's about?
What do I think the song is about? What the song
what
that
is
I
the
wrote?
song
What do I
about?
think the song that I wrote is about? It's about starting a new life.
I don't know who I am.
It's about dreaming of something different.
Baby, baby, baby. Do you know who you are?
Don't stop.
So this series is actually based on the book of the same name by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book actually first gained traction on BookTok, which is a sub-thread of TikTok, and it's really interesting if you look at this sub-thread called BookTok. It's basically TikTok users essentially making or breaking books on that thread, and it's having a rippling effect on publishing, cinema, and television. So Daisy Jones and the Six, because of its success on BookTok, was picked up by Hello Sunshine, which is a production company that's owned by Reese Witherspoon. But it's far from being the only book that's found success from TikTok onto the small screen. You'll remember Irish writer Sally Rooney's books, Normal People and Conversations with Friends, which both went viral on TikTok and subsequently were adopted by Hulu and became standout TV shows. Another hit on BookTok was Lee Barduga's fantasy book Shadow and Bone. Well, thanks to TikTok, it's now been adapted into a two-season show on Netflix. BookTok's influence is just beginning, and no doubt it's making publishing houses a little bit jittery right now.
Wow, interesting stuff. So what did you make of the TV series?
Well, look, it's a bit cheesy, it's a bit predictable, but Riley Keough is great as the lead character, and I really loved the representations of female friendship at a time when women's rights weren't as advanced as they are now. It's a fun watch. It's a nice ride back into an era that keeps getting further and further away from our collective memory, Eve.
Okay, well, this month also marks an annual rendezvous in television and the TV series festival Series Mania in the French city of Lille. Tell us more.
Well, it's one of the biggest annual events for the television industry. This year's opening series is Cédric Clapiche's Salade Grecque. It's a spin-off TV series set 20 years after the hit exchange student film, The Spanish Apartment, starring, of course, Romain Duris. So the students this time are the children of Romain Duris's Xavier and Kelly Riley's Wendy. It looks at a youth that is much less carefree than the one we saw back in the 2000s. They're more politically engaged. There's even some focus on Greece's politics and migrant crisis. But this festival is also a chance to showcase little-known international TV series. There's Black Santiago Club. That's a world premiere of the only African show at the festival this year. It's an Afrobeat musical thriller, a co-production from Senegal, Benin, and France. It's out on Canal Plus. You have Barzak Limbo Land, that's an Indo-Pakistani fantasy series, and the first ever Iranian series at Série Mania that's called The Actor. It's a dramedy about two gifted thespians trying to exerce their profession. That's actually in the running for the international competition. There's also a lovely British series called Funny Woman. It's a British adaptation of Nick Hornby's book Funny Girl that takes us to 1960s London, Eve, starring Gemma Arterton.
Okay, well, lots of stuff to look out for there. There's also a lot of nostalgia amongst the French series at the festival, isn't there?
Well, in the running for the French series competition is Bardot. It's a biopic set in the 1950s about, of course, Brigitte Bardot, with newcomer Julia de Núñez as playing the lead role of Brigitte Bardot, and Victor Belmondo, yes, the grandson of Jean-Paul Belmondo, who plays Roger Vadim. There's also the world premiere of the hit French show HPI, which is about an exceptionally intelligent housekeeper played by the French actress Audrey Fleurot, who's hired by the police. This has been a hit series, so much so that the show is actually getting an American remake in the works by the channel ABC. And of course, the most highly anticipated series at this festival, the world premiere of season 4 of Succession with Scottish actor Brian Cox, who's actually at the festival. He, of course, plays the fearsome Logan Roy in the series. Take a listen to what he had to say.
They've been the best bunch of actors to work with. You know, they're just absolutely delightful and very talented, and it's been great to watch them grow over 4 seasons and get more confident, particularly Kieran Culkin, you know, who's done an amazing job, you know.
Well, let's end with Succession then. The 13-time Emmy Award-winning show is back for its 4th and final season.
Well, in this age of high streaming, high competition, where sometimes shows get cancelled before they even get to air, it's really remarkable that this series is ending on its own terms. So at the end of season 3, we see Logan Roy outmaneuvering his children with the help of his sneaky son-in-law. Season 4 is focusing on the siblings trying to wrestle control of their father's media empire as the sale of Roystar Waco to tech bro Lucas Matson moves closer and closer. Expect more ruthless plotting, more backstabbing, more family drama. It'll be exciting to see how this show ends, because series endings are often talked about for many years to come. Think about the series endings of Breaking Bad or Lost. So the big question is, the name is Succession, so will Logan Roy die? Will they go out on a satisfying note or not? Well, you'll have to wait until March the 26th when Succession season 4 comes out, Eve.
Do you know?
I do not know. And if I did, I couldn't tell you.
Okay, Dheepthi, thank you so much. We're going to leave you with a sneak peek at Succession season 4 on HBO later this month. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
I'm going to build something bigger, faster, wilder. I want to kill the opposition, cut their throats.